Hello everyone, my name is Capp and welcome back to the channel. Another 7 Days to Die video. I'm doing all this in Alpha 17.4 stable on the PC, so in case things change in later versions, do keep this in mind. Today we're going to be looking at Radiated Zombies. Now, if you didn't know, when you hit a Radiated Zombie, they slowly regain some of their health back, or even not really that slowly. But the question I've seen a lot of people ask, including myself, is how much life do they gain and how fast do they gain it? So of course you're going to have to do more damage than they gain for it to be able to kill them. So as you can see, I have the debug menu enabled, and if you hit the 0 on the keypad on your keyboard, you can enable their stats here, and you can see how much life they actually have. So I'm going to be doing some flying around and using some debug mode, so just people know that ahead of time that this is being done in creative mode just for scientific purposes. We're going to go ahead and give the cheerleader here, Brittany, a good smack in the head. You can see right at the moment until you update it, she hasn't lost any health. But as soon as you change it, you see she goes down to 402. Now this is where she's currently sitting at here. So if you hit her again, see it goes down to 380, and now it's climbing back up, 384. Where are you going? 384. That's where it's at right at the moment. Okay, so you can see they regain a little bit of their health. Let's see if we can get a little bit more damage. Whoops, we missed. Okay, so she's at 280, 292, 294, 296. You can see the health is actually climbing there, and it goes up at a decent little tick. So let's investigate how fast and how much that actually is. Alright, so looking at the in-game files, we can see that the regeneration rate for Radiated Zombies is 2.5 per second, and they can make it all the way up to 80% of their maximum health that they start off with. So you can see she's at 451 here. I'm going to allow her to take off running here. I'm going to shoot her, so she went down to 353, and so the max she should be able to get back up to is about 80% of the maximum she started with at 451. Now, it's pretty close to. It's at 80%, so sometimes it's 80, 81. You can see at 369, that's... I'm going to turn her off here. 369 is right about 81% of where she originally started. But that's as high as she's going to be able to regen. You can see that it's not going up anymore. If we shoot her again, it took her down to 271. And as you watch her life continue to climb, and I'm trying to fly away and keep all the life bar right here in the middle, it'll continue to go all the way back up to right around between 361 and 368 where it was just at, which is 80% of what her starting level was, according to, unless of course you do any other damage to her, or if you actually injured her. Like if you shot off a leg where her maximum amount of life possible is a little bit lower, she's not going to have any more. So she's done regenerating health, and you can see she's at 361. So just from this test, as we're trying frantically not to get hit by this woman, you can see that it does actually match up with the stats that's in the XML files, is 2.5 health per second all the way up until they reach 80% of their original starting health rate. So let's test that out again with a different Radiated Zombie. Alright, so we're going to try this again with a different zombie just to see if we can verify the results. We can see Zombie Steve has started off with 541 health. Let's turn him back on so he can run towards us here. Take a shot in the middle. That dropped him down to 451, or sorry, a little before 41. Let's see where he goes up to from there. So the max he got back up to was at 451. So let's see here. Doing the math on that, that is about 83%. Now again, the way the stats show up in the XML files, it shows like less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, based on any kind of mods. There's no way to know for certain if by the way I hit him, if it did any kind of specific damage to where it modified him at all. There's not a way to see in game whether I actually did anything to him besides just damage him. But he went up to 83% of his maximum value here. So let's try it again. So he's at 451. So that took him down to 331, and so at 341. Let's see where he climbs back up to this time. See if he goes back up to the original amount that he was just at, or if he stops it again at a little bit of a lower value. But you can see the rate at which he gains health is the exact same that it was with Brittany. He's gaining about 2.5 per second, and it'll go all the way back up until he gets to within that 80% range of his maximum health. So that took him back up to 441. So that does seem to confirm it, that although trying to figure out the exact amount they're going to get, you can see that it's roughly about 80% of their life that they're going to be able to regen back all the way up to 80% of their max starting health. So for him, 80% would have been right around 440, and so he regained 2.5 health all the way back up to his maximum starting, which should have been 441. So if I shoot him One more time, get him all the way down. Let's go ahead and shoot him one more here, just to see what it takes him down to, 263. Let's see if it'll climb all the way back up to, or see if I hit one of those times was in his leg, and if it did any kind of limb damage, if that changed his maximum value or not. Now, I know this is a little bit hard to watch, so for some people flying around, you know, this fast-moving camera here, I'm trying really hard to keep it as steady as possible while he's chasing me, so you can see his health actually go up still, but, you know, I gotta try and keep from getting hit, just because having all the bleeding effect on the stage or on the screen makes it a little harder to see what's going on. But you can see it's still climbing all the way back up to right around where it was at. Let's see if it gets back up to 441 or not before it actually stops. Let's see if it changed, if by hitting in the leg it changed the value to which he could take additional life. So 433. Okay, so that one was a little bit different. So the second time doing all the damage to him seemed to lower his life enough to when he regenerated back up, he did make it back up to the 80% where he originally started off, which would have been around 432, 433. So you can kind of see that as getting the exact decimal value is a little bit challenging, but the rate at which they regain life is still 2.5 for every one of the radiated zombies, and they can't go up higher than right around closely to 80% of their max starting health. This one's a bit of the nerdier style videos or whatever, trying to look at zombie health stats and XML files and stuff, but I feel this is one that would be greatly beneficial to people in case you're, you know, at night, you're running around from some of these bad boys, you're like, okay, so how much do I actually have to do to these guys to get them to go down? So if you just do one, you know, take a shot and you wing them, then you run around, you take another shot and wing them, they're going to regen all the way back up to that 80% ratio that we first started looking at here. So if you don't do a consistent amount of damage really fast, they'll regenerate more health than you can do damage to them. So anyway, hopefully this was at least useful. If I missed something, or if I miscalculated by a decimal value, I can only go by what's showing up in the XML files and hoping that it's actually right or not. So, you know, you'll just have to forgive me. Ow! Unlike this guy who just came up and punched me. Not very nice at all. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button down below, and be sure to subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss out on future videos, and smash that bell icon and you'll get notified when new videos go live. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.